Welcome back to our KELOLAND News special report, Marijuana on the Ballot. We're turning our attention now to IM26, which would legalize medical marijuana in the state. Melissa Metley with New Approach South Dakota wants you to vote yes on 26. Thanks for joining us, Melissa.
Thank you for having me, Perry.
Well, let's jump right in. Why should people vote yes on IM26?
IM26 creates a comprehensive medical program for the state of South Dakota. It is a well-regulated and well-thought-out program that was written by the patients in South Dakota after looking at all of the different states that had legalized and working through all of the issues that they had had and adjusting this bill to be a good, solid bill for the state. It was, and I always like to say this, it wasn't a bill that was written for somewhere else and copied and pasted for South Dakota. This was a bill that was written specifically for our state to put good safeguards in and to create a comprehensive program here.
Now, medical marijuana has failed 2 other times on the ballot in South Dakota. Why do you think voters now are ready to accept medical marijuana?
I think because we've had 10 years to really watch what has happened in the United States, and we've watched the other states legalize, and as their programs have been implemented, we've seen that they haven't had any significant problems that law enforcement wasn't able to take care of. The states are able to manage them, and no state has turned back the clock on this. No state has repealed their medical marijuana laws. They're working. These laws work, and I think South Dakota is ready to really explore this option for our patients.
Do you think the legislature is going to try to still chime in and try to make adjustments if Initiated Measure 26 passes?
I think the legislature, we've had this very same bill sponsored twice on both sides of the aisle. So we have debated this bill with them, and I do think they have some concerns, but I think most of that concern is because they don't really understand it. And when we've had the discussion with them, it was something that they weren't comfortable doing. They didn't want to stick out like that sore thumb and be the one that changed this in South Dakota. I think we're going to have some conversations, but I do have faith in them to really respect the will of the voters. The voters know what they're voting on.
Some people might say we're still moving too quickly, that more research needs to be known as far as the medical benefits and the medical setbacks for medical marijuana. What do you think about that? Is there more research need to be done before we go ahead and make it legal in South Dakota?
I think that's a really great question. Actually, most people don't know this, but there are over 44,000 studies that have been done on marijuana for medical use. ResearchPub our ResearchGate has some really great articles on there, all peer-reviewed, regarding the different uses of medical marijuana. And the one thing I do like to mention is if you take ibuprofen, it's interesting to know that ibuprofen is sold over the counter, but medical marijuana has had more research done on it and more long-term research done on it than an ibuprofen has.
Well, who will benefit from legalized medical marijuana?
Patients in the state of South Dakota who have been followed by their physician, who have severe or catastrophic medical issues, are going to be the ones that benefit the most. They will be the ones that this will be life-changing for them. We have seen children in other states go from having no seizure control to having wonderful seizure control. And we have seen cancer patients being very uncomfortable, getting some quality of life back and being able to eat and get a little healthier and start to really thrive through chemotherapy. So this is a great way to not take over medical treatment, but to really add something to it and give our doctors a tool for the toolbox.
We have about 1 minute left. Give us an idea what you want voters to know about Initiated Measure 26.
I think the biggest thing to know is that there's somebody in your life that could benefit from this. If it's not you, it could be your loved one. It could be your neighbor. It could be somebody that you know. This is a bill that will benefit somebody you love. And maybe you're not aware of it today, but as we get closer and closer to the ballot, I have seen a lot more people that normally would not speak out regarding this, sharing stories of why people should support this. And if it's not you today, it could be tomorrow. It could be your loved one next week. It could be your own child or your grandchild that someday would need access. And so we do hope people really vote with their hearts and understand that this isn't scary. We're trying to help people here, and this bill does help.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, our final guest is with the South Dakota Medical Association. He says he doesn't want to tell you how to vote. He just wants you to know the science before you cast a ballot. We'll be right back.